Hi, guys. Thank you for listening to the Gig Economy Podcast. Say what? Yes, we have changed the podcast name. We are now the Gig Economy Podcast, no longer GR Rideshare Adventures. We'll kind of talk about it in the beginning of the podcast once it gets started, but I just want to touch base with our advertisers. Our studio sponsor is Irvine's Auto Repair in Grand Rapids Hybrid. They're located on Stafford, just east of 131 off 44th Street. Domestic and Asian cars only. Check that. Not just domestic and Asian. They now do some BMWs and Mini Coupes. But please call them at 616-532-6600 or online at irvines.com. They're currently open during this quarantine COVID-19 time. They are essential business. You can... Again, call them at 532-6600 or schedule online. They'll come pick up your car, sanitize it, bring it back, sanitize the whole 9 yards. You don't even have to leave your house. So if you do need some maintenance or repairs or anything, please call them. They are a big supporter of the Gig Economy Podcast, and we can't thank them enough for sponsoring us. Again, irvines.com or 532-6600. Also, a sponsor of the show is Jackie from Michigan Insurance and Financial Services. Jackie is a insurance broker. That's what I call her. She can shop a bunch of insurance companies and give you the best price. She takes all the hassle out of changing your insurance. And at least once a year, you should be getting an insurance audit. I did that with Jackie. She saved me $70 a month. That goes a long ways. I mean, how can you think about what you can do with $70 a month. I mean, for me, think how many Monster Energies I can buy. I mean, seriously. To reach Jackie, you can call her at 269-569-6127. That is her direct cell phone number. You will get her. You can text her or email Jackie at miafs.com. She's been amazing, a great insurance agent to work through. If you have any issues, she takes care of it. I haven't had any, but and also just a PSA, y'all need your rider for being a rideshare driver. So please check her out. She can hook you up with all that. Jackie at miafs.com or 269-569-6127. Enjoy the show. Hi, guys. Welcome to the Gig Economy Podcast. This beautiful studio is sponsored by Irvine's Auto Repair and Grand Rapids Hybrid. Thank you so much for joining us. You're probably like, wait a minute. The Gig Economy Podcast? What the hell is that? Well, guess what? We've changed. We're growing. We're expanding. We're doing all that fun stuff. So, yes, that's what we're doing right now. And we just feel like rideshare is as we started off back in 2017, that rideshare was a big part of the gig economy, or that really was the gig economy. And now there's so much more as rideshare has kind of taken a back seat to, rideshare has taken a back seat to like Instacart and Shipt and those kind of things. So, welcome to the show. What's up, guys?
How are you guys doing?
We are doing good.
So quiet, Pete. What's up with that?
Pete's probably still muted.
Yeah.
Rookie in the house.
I do this for a couple hours a week.
You know, Pete, if you don't use the hardware mute on your mic, just do the software mute. At least that way we can see if you're muted.
Right.
Well, I got like 3 monitors going, so I thought that doing the hardware mute might be easier to remember, but clearly
not. Again, our studio sponsor is Irvine's Auto Repair. We'll talk about them a little earlier. So, throw the questions about the change of the name. We're happy to talk about it. We've been hemming and hawing about it for probably the last 6 months, but we thought, well, what a great time to do it during COVID-19, and just as Instacart and Shipt have just exploded, along with some scams that we'll talk about later, and all that fun stuff. So, real quick, just want to go over a few things for us. We have a Telegram group that you can chat. I know it's been a little quiet lately because gig has just really slowed down, but we'd love to have you. The description for that and the link is in the Facebook. We are not on Twitch or Periscope tonight just due to the fact that our streaming service that we use is down. It just wasn't working. So computer can't handle all 4 of them. So we're just decided to stick with YouTube and Facebook. So also just want to talk about the Patreon real quick. For our Patreon members, we did a gig economy podcast every month, and that's not going to change. Maybe we'll change the name. But what we're going to do for our Patreon members, which I have to shout out Keith. I think it's Farner, who is a new Patreon just this week. Thank you so much, Keith.
Thank you, Keith. Yep.
We are going to take a certain app or a certain gig and really explore it once a month, not just a brief, this is the basics or whatever, but just kind of digging deep. And of course, you still get the before show chatter and all that fun stuff. So patreon.com/GRRideshare. I know some of these links might be the old links. I'm going to spend the next week kind of updating photos and those kind of things. So you may see some changes happening, but now you know that you're here. Jesper,
and new improved website will be arriving soon too.
Yeah, we're really
new shinies.
Yep, Jesper's
shinies.
Jesper's spitting on it and buffing it right now. Jesper, what you
says? Being a Patreon member is almost as good as a comfort ride in Jesper's town and country.
Oh.
Well, we don't know about that. There hasn't been many of those the last 6 weeks.
I did get his name right. It is Farner.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
nice.
Guys, please remember that it is still something that really help us is to write a review on Apple Podcast about the show. And of course, talk about the changes, talk about the new things, talk about us, talking about everything gig economy, not just rideshare. As Jason is saying, we are spreading our wings a little bit wider and hopefully can open up for a wider audience.
Yeah, definitely review us. You can do it on Stitcher, Castbox, anywhere. And of course, you can always play the podcast on Alexa. We're on Spotify, all that stuff. Just if you could share the show too, anytime we're streaming, like we would just love any kind of love you can send our way. So did we get it so that we can ask Alexa to play us now? I forget we talked about that, right? Yeah, I talked a little bit about Ben. He thinks that that's a skill that is already done. I don't know. I tried it with mine and it started playing. I tried it with my other podcast Threads and it started playing episode 21. And I asked her to play the most recent one. So I don't know if it's set up. But to answer your question, no, we never did pursue the skill thing, but maybe we will. It was pretty.
That's something we'll be doing in the future.
Hopefully, yeah. So we're gonna jump into our first. Put that on the back burner. Irvines.com. They are our studio sponsor. We can't thank them enough. Go to Irvines.com to schedule. They are essential right now. They are doing all the repairs. They'll come pick your car up, sanitize it, bring it back, do the repairs, and re-sanitize it. Call them at 532-6600 to schedule online or to schedule an appointment. Everything's done digitally, obviously, except the repairs. As far as payment and billing and all that, so you don't even have to see Jamie or Megan. Not that you wouldn't want to, but right. with these crazy times, they want to make sure that you know that they are still open, and we appreciate them supporting us. Gosh, this has got to be like month 9, maybe. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Has
it been 9 already?
I think so. So we super appreciate them, and Megan and Jamie and Eric. They do a great job there. So Irvines.com, 532-6600. All right, let's get back into gig economy and the news.
Did we want to talk about that camera?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Jesper. I blew right over it. That's why I keep you around.
Okay. So what we actually talked about earlier this year, we were asked by Vantu to review one of their new cameras. It's a front camera only. And so we have decided that we are actually going to give that away as part of a drawing for all our Patreon members at the end of May. So right now is the time to sign up for that, and you'll get this fancy new version. It's a Vantrue dash cam, and the cool thing is it has the larger monitor, the larger screen in the back. You are going to have to buy your own memory card. It does not come with a memory card, but everything else inside of it is there. To even the necessary cable to hook it up through your, is it UDP? What's it called? That special port, ODB port, whatever that thing is called. I forget.
I almost said OBS.
Yes,
nope.
I forget what it's
not
called. Anyway,
OBS.
that port. But basically, the idea is that if it's hooked up that way, even if you get hit while parked, the camera will turn on, record the incident, and turn off. So that's kind of cool.
Yep. If you join Patreon between now and, I don't know, we'll pick a date like March 30th. You'll be included in that drawing.
Yeah. The end of May, right? We'll do the drawing at the end of May.
Did I say March?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm doing too many things.
I was like, wow, that's really fast.
No, next March. And we did just get another Vantrue camera for them to test. It's their brand. What the hell is it called? Hold on. Vantrue. I don't know. Oh, the N4.
Nice.
So we'll be putting that in the car and give it a try when we actually can get back to work.
Is that the one with the 3 cameras?
Yes. Yeah. I don't know quite a ton about it. I know it's definitely more than their N2 Pro. I think it's $50 more, but I know it comes with more features. But
I mean, obviously, the T2, which is the one we're giving away, this one it's only front facing, so it's particularly for other gig work, not recording inside your car. But you should always have. I mean, particularly if you're on the road so much, you should have a dash cam no matter what. So
yeah. The other day, I'm not gonna. I should have put.
I saw that video.
I know I should have put it in here. There's a lot of swears in it though, but. And that happened 2 days later in my work truck. People are just like treating red lights as 4-way stops. I mean, it's not that desolate out there. There are regular traffic. Like you can't just do that.
Well, there's a picture circling around on Facebook of like these 2 cars that got into an accident in like this intersection. There's like no other cars around. And it said like, how did you manage to hit the only car on the road during coronavirus?
Well, even like why the drunk driving? Like you're seeing drunk driving arrests, and then it's like what are you doing? Like if you're out there driving, you're gonna get popped. And then somewhere in Michigan today, someone got popped for doing 180 on the expressway.
I heard that was either 2006 or 96 Challenger. I don't remember which one it was, but
it was a Challenger.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
That's nuts. I mean, if you think about it, I used to have a 72 Monte Carlo, and that thing had a 350 small block in it, and it topped out at 120.
Whoa.
Well, I'm not going to say.
Imagine going 180 miles an hour.
There was one time I drove a little bit over 100 in the van.
Yeah, we know.
If by one time you mean once a week.
No. I usually don't do
out
that.
Of Vito's.
That was one.
Frickin' Jesper is a leadfoot. You just stay away from him.
I don't speed at all anymore.
Okay. So. You just scream at people at the red light, and your buddy Ben looks over, and you're having a meltdown.
There was that one time.
Yeah.
Now, what I was going to say, there was the same thing. Did you guys hear that? So here, this is in Michigan, and we've had a local bear, a lot of sightings for a local bear lately. And unfortunately, that said bear was hit yesterday morning. And that was another thing in one of those. How can they not tell? I mean, there's like nobody in the car. Anyways, nobody.
How can they not tell what?
Why are you hitting the bear? I mean, you should be able to see the bear in good enough time.
It's an effing bear. It's like 600 pounds.
Yeah, but it's not like it's going super fast. You should be able to see the bear. Anyways, long story short.
John says, remember, if you're going to go over 130, get tires that can handle it. Thanks,
yeah,
John.
no kidding. That's a good tip. 180 though. 180. I wonder if that thing was rattling or. I don't know. I didn't think the radar guns went up that high.
I got to like 110 in the Monte Carlo, and I got to tell you, I felt like if I moved like a centimeter on the steering wheel, I was just gonna die.
You're gonna die.
So I was gonna die. I can't even imagine going 180.
Yeah,
it's probably different in a more modern car now, but.
Well, yeah, those older cars didn't have the suspension. Like, that's what a lot of people do. I know this is not a car talk. Sorry, guys. But what a lot of people do is buy those old cars, like those 67s, like the Mustang. Oh, my alert worked. Thanks, Michelle. Did you see it, Jesper?
No, what?
Oh, I set up some alerts. I thought Pete would be more excited. Yay! I hope it doesn't just keep going. I might have to delete it.
Alert for what?
Are you watching Facebook?
Confused. Well, yeah, kind of.
It's just an alert system when people follow or like or join or share the stream. It pops up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, sorry. I was a little excited about it. Didn't mean to nerd out. Okay, let's get to some freaking gig economy talk. What the?
Yeah, let's get to the gig economy talk.
Jeez, what is going on? So this first one I thought was hilarious. And this has not been the first time Grubhub has done this. It's a text I got from them. It says, Grubhub bonus. Get on the road just 3 hours from 5 to 10, Friday or Saturday, to earn an extra $0. Want to earn even more? See your email for how to earn up to a 0 bonus. Thanks, Grubhub. And it's not the first time. I'm like, how does that go through and no one like proofreads that? It's kind of strange.
It's an automated message.
You think so? But I mean, you still have to enter like data for it to produce that text.
Well,
So.
they imported it's probably an import, and then there's false data that was imported into it, and then
nerd talk here. Jeez, thanks, Larry, for the nice job. I appreciate it, Larry. Thank you. He's the only one that appreciated it. Pete didn't even say anything.
Well, I heard it and I wasn't paying attention, so I wasn't sure what it was until you explained it to. Which is weird because I helped you set those up.
You helped me set it up. All right, Jesper, you're up.
Okay, fine. So I'm going to talk about the fact that during this pandemic, the domestic violence is spiking. And so in that case, Uber is donating, in the process of donating 50,000 free rides, free food, and free food to shelters, particularly for domestic abuse victims. So basically, what they're saying is, so this is I'm reading from referring to an article in USA Today, and what they're saying is, hang on.
You didn't have it up, did you?
No, I did. It's just my computer, for some reason, is slow today. I don't know. Something is going on. I should have rebooted it. Anyways, it's these Chromebooks.
Should have got Windows.
Yeah, I know. I should have
got an AMD processor.
Oh, my gosh. You guys are stupid. Okay. So what they're saying is that because people are sitting at home, everybody's stuck at home so much, the women doesn't have access to vehicles. Abuse victims, not just women, but abuse victims in general, doesn't have access to readily available to vehicles, and so they are more the higher chance of them being what am I trying to say?
Abused?
There's more violence. Yes, there's more violence, and because they can't get the readily available access to vehicles, they can get away from the violence. And so what they're doing is, what Uber is doing, particularly, they are giving away codes to shelters, specifically dealing with the abuse victims, so they can give away these codes to victims, so they can get away from the homes. That seemed a lot more troublesome.
That was rough.
That was a rough one.
Do you want to grab an IPA or?
No, I've had mine already. So
okay, because
maybe that's the problem.
Wow,
that's strong.
Hey-o!
It was a good one too. So, anyways, as I said before, Uber is giving away 50,000 rides. And they're providing 45,000 free meals to survivors via the shelters. So.
Yeah, just as like a PSA, as that, if you listen to Threads, you would know this. But I grew up in a pretty abused home, and it's tough, man, when you're home. And the school was like kind of a place where you kind of got away from that, and all these kids being home and people stuck inside. It's just, if you see something or know something, please say something to somebody, because you should anyways, but especially now. So
yeah,
It's interesting that Uber is in the news for giving away, 50,000. What do you say, 50,000 meals and a whole bunch of free rides, and Lyft is in the news because they're laying off over 1,000 people and furloughing hundreds more. Why
you got to be a downer?
I'm just saying it's interesting. As I hit my microphone.
Well, I heard that Uber also furlough a bunch of people?
I think they did.
Yeah,
Now, what is that? And this is kind of a stupid question, I guess, but if you're furloughed, does that mean you're not working or you're just working from home?
Furloughed means you're not working. You're basically like, I think it's off. Yeah, I think it's a fancy. That's a good question, Pete. We'll put John on it.
John,
motivation boss. Google it. Yeah, I think it's a fancy way to say laid off and that you're coming back when things are done. But yeah, I didn't know exactly what furloughed mean either. But me neither meant either.
Poor Larry. So much for lifting with Larry.
Yeah, Larry's got an announcement coming up soon too. Oh, was that too soon? That was too soon. All right, Pete, what do we got with this crazy lady?
All right, so I got to find where I put my article.
Oh my gosh, you guys. I got mine up already on the screen waiting for my turn.
Listen, I have 3 monitors.
Freaking B team tonight.
Browser windows open.
Hey, so while you're waiting for Pete, Keith, our newest Patreon, answered the question. Furlough means you're still working for the company, but you're off for a certain period of time.
So
temporary layoff.
Yeah, but
isn't that what a layoff is?
So I get laid off from November to March. Am I furloughed or am I laid off? Is it I'm laid off because I'm a blue collar, but if you're a white collar, you're furloughed. It just sounds nicer than like I'm laid off.
But the thing is, can you qualify for unemployment when you're furloughed?
Now that's a good question. Keith, get it.
Keith, handle it. All right, so the next story is Peppa from Salt and Peppa sues Uber, the driver, and 2 other drivers that were all involved in a chain reaction car accident that left her with injuries, pain, and loss of wages. And she's suing them because they operated their vehicle negligently and carelessly. She's got neck pains and the knee pains and needed medical attention. And her car's got a boo-boo on it.
So I saw Salt and Peppa like 2 years ago. And before this little thing, I don't know her exact injuries, but they did a really good job. It was a 90s show with Vanilla Ice and all that. But
oh, yeah.
That picture of her, though, is ridiculous that they put up there. That is rough.
Yeah.
It's
almost like, find the worst picture of this girl that you can ever find, and let's use that one.
It's like it's like that she was drunk. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It almost makes her look
Let's
just
see if
terrible.
I can make the face.
Oh, we look like we're doing something else. Keith said furloughs are usually shorter than months, and then he doesn't think he can get unemployment. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I think it's just for white collars, so they don't sound like they're laid off or something. Nothing against white collars.
Well, yeah.
I'm confused about why. Okay, I can understand if she gets into an accident, she would want to sue Uber. Okay, that's a given. I can maybe see suing the driver, but I don't know. I don't understand why she's suing the other 2 drivers. 3 other drivers. Sorry.
Well, because
money.
The driver in front stopped short, so it's his fault. And then the driver that was driving her, he didn't stop in enough time. And I don't know about the third one. I don't know where that one comes in.
So the real question here is this the media spinning the fact that this is the insurance companies suing, which they do all the time?
I'm
or
sure.
Is it actually Salt and Pepper? Or is it actually her suing? I mean, that's the thing, right? I mean, we don't know anything, but the insurance companies sue each other all the time.
Yeah.
It says that she's suing them.
Yeah, well, that's just
Sandra Denton, a.k.a. Peppa from Salt and Pepper, is suing the rideshare service.
Jesper.
Okay, yeah.
What's the group name? Don't
Salt
read.
and Pepper. What?
What's the name? You're so white.
Oh, Keith
I'm
says
not going to say it again.
One difference is your benefits continue during a furlough, but they don't for a layoff, which you already said.
Oh,
no. Under normal conditions, it depends on your state if you can get unemployment, but during this pandemic, more unemployment is sent to furloughed people.
Well, the benefit thing is huge. Like if you keep your health benefits, like if I had health, I don't know, I wouldn't. Oh, interesting. Keith.
So let's go back to that name. Why did I say that wrong?
Pete.
No, man.
Her name is Peppa.
I said that.
Say it again.
No, I'm not, because you're just going to make fun of me
Just
again.
one more time.
Salt and Pepper.
I know, Salt and Pepper.
There you go.
There's no R in the end.
I don't say NR. Anyways.
All right. Yeah. So we're going to jump into the Uber talks about, and we're not going to get a deep dive in this, and that's where kind of the gig economy podcast, whatever we're going to call it now, for Patreon comes in because, right. We kind of graze over these articles and we can't spend all podcasts on them. So,
well, I think you just named it, by the way. It's going to be the deeper dive.
The deeper dive. I like that. Yes.
Deeper dive.
So one of the things that have been floating around, especially for independent contractors, is the PPP, which is the Paycheck Protection Program, and then it's the EIDL, Economic Injury Disaster Loan. So I've seen a lot of people getting this $1,000 disaster loan. It's even people in our market. It said it can be an advance up to $10K, but usually it's lower. Here's the weird part on it. It said, would I have to pay the debt back? The EIDL loan will need to be repaid plus interest. The emergency advance is a grant that will not be repaid regardless of whether you ultimately receive the loan. So there's like an advance and then the loan. But what are these people getting the $1,000 for? Is that the quick advance that doesn't have to be paid back? Or is
that's the grant?
The grant, the advance or whatever.
And I'm not a tax person by any means, but I'm guessing you're going to pay that back somehow.
Well, you're going to have to pay taxes on it.
Right.
But it's weird that they would just give you a quick grant and then later on you get a loan.
Well, the grant is probably to process it faster.
It's supposed to be $1,000. I think it's supposed to be $1,000 per employee.
Okay.
That you were given a grant for, and then you apply for the loan.
And so then you apply for the loan, like for the SBA, the small business, whatever.
Right.
Okay. And then the PPP, my boss was actually looking into, and that one, I don't know how that applies to rideshare drivers or independent contractors, but you basically have to pay your employees, use it for payroll, and if you do, you don't have to pay any of it back. But go ahead, Jesper.
No, I was just going to say, so it's a 70-30, right? So 70% of it has to be paid on payroll, and up till 30 can need to be paid on utilities and kind of keeps the lights on.
Yeah.
And as long as you're following those rules, and there's some other rules as well, then you can apply for not having to pay it back, right? It's essentially turns into a grant at the end. But it starts out by being a loan. a forgivable loan, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, but my question is to pertain to gig workers. Why would a gig worker qualify for something like that when they're the only employee?
Yeah, I mean,
it's a loophole.
Right.
It's supposed to be for a small business, and since we are
small businesses,
our own
right?
business.
Yeah, we're small businesses.
I just don't know how you're gonna, because you can use that money and just blow it on hookers and coke. I mean, if you want, but you're gonna have to pay it back. But I mean, let's say you didn't want it, you want to do the right thing with it. Do you just pay yourself, and then that's considered payroll?
Well, So, but you have to somehow be able to prove. I mean, how much? Because you can only. I think the maximum you can borrow is up to like 2 months worth of expenses. So you need to be able to prove what is your monthly payroll,
right,
before you can get that and get some.
Oh,
so there's some maximums you can borrow.
That makes sense. So they're not going to be like, just give 10 grand to a gig worker. They're going to say, hey, you need to show me your expenses, and it just seems weird.
Show me how much you used to make, that kind of stuff, and somehow be able to do that. But then the other problem is, I mean, are you even ever gonna get it? So supposedly they're reopening the PPP program on Friday, right? Because it's been shut down. But then the federal government punch a bunch of more money into it. I don't follow up a whole lot with this, but I think it's supposed to open up on Friday again.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can only guess, first of all, there's already a huge waiting list for the PPP program. And once they're through with that, if there's still money left, then people who sign up on Friday is going to be, into it. But I think it's a two-step process, right? You got to be approved by the bank first, and then you got to be approved by the SBA, and then you can get the money.
Well, I think Ben had said something to the fact that there's already a waiting list. So as soon as it goes active, everyone on the waiting list goes first. And it's like, I mean, the unemployment's already a shit show. Do I really want to spend time trying to get an extra 1,000? I mean, yeah, that's great, but I wouldn't waste my time with it.
I waited on yesterday. I waited all day. I got up, I have to be at work at 8:30 for my job. And so I was up, and at 8:00, hit the button chat, and it said, we are too busy. Please try again later. And all day. Well, I kept trying.
So I'm under the understanding you have not got paid yet from unemployment then.
I did.
Oh, you did get paid?
Yeah, I got paid this morning.
So you did finally get through to them or not?
No, I never got through, but they sent me some question thing I had to answer yesterday at 5 p.m. I answered it, and then by 10 or 11 p.m. it was not in my account, but depositing into my account.
Yeah, nice. That's nice. I know a lot of people are struggling with that. At least in Michigan, they took the whole week off from support to help file claims, which I understand, but man, a whole week where I understand other people need to get their claims, but what about the people that are already waiting in the queue and it's effed up? Like, you just made them go another whole week without pay because you don't have enough staff.
My understanding and why I struggle with it is why don't they have a ticket system? Why don't they allow people to just submit a ticket instead of require people to be in line and be actively there?
Well, you can send them a message, but my older son is having issues with it too. And he sent a message every day and no one responds back to him.
Right.
So, I mean, it's either get in line, send a message. It's just a disaster. And I'm sure
just pick up the phone and call them. That's all.
Yeah. It's the same thing. You can't get through and you try to call them either. So I had the same problem. I'm back to work for law enforcement because I'm essential, bro. But no.
You are now.
I'm not essential. I'm just work by myself all day. But I had the same problem with unemployment. It took me a while to get paid for my first 2 weeks, and now I'm working, so I don't have to deal with it. And I thank the Holy Lord.
So real quick, I was following up on Facebook, and Jamie Lynn says that they restarted the PPP on the 27th. I didn't think that, but they are already out of money.
Oh my gosh, really?
They're processing all the ones that were in the queue, but they ran out of money.
Well,
the government's making some of these other companies that took these payments, making them pay them back.
Well, I don't think
Did you guys hear that Harvard got a huge PPP? Now they have to pay that back?
Well, I don't think the government was making them pay it back. I think the press got out and they were getting peer pressured to pay the money back. But like Shake Shack took like 15 mil. Ruth Chris took like 10 million. I'm like, all righty here. This is supposed to be Keith, I don't cut grass. God dang it.
I was waiting for you to catch that.
Son of a bitch.
I think the people at Harvard that signed up to get that 10 million, or is that what you said it was, 10 million?
I thought Harvard was much more.
I don't know. I didn't hear
whoever signed up for that should be in the same boat as Lori Laughlin, right?
Jesse's wife.
Yep.
Oh, Tom from Chicago.
Same thing, right?
Yeah, it's kind of. So, all right, where are we at? Ooh, we're on to an ad. All right. Just want to talk about Jackie at Michigan Insurance and Financial Services. She is like an insurance broker and takes the hassle out of changing insurance companies. You can call her at 269-569-6127, or you can email her, Jackie, at miafs.com. And that is Jackie's cell phone number. Yes, she works for Michigan Insurance and Financial, but she's independent. When I switched insurance over to Progressive with her, I did everything online. I signed everything online. She even broke up with my other insurance company for me. And that was great because I didn't want to call them, even though they were overcharging me. So once a year, you should at least get an insurance audit and see if you're paying too much. So give her a call, 269-569-6127. Or email her, Jackie, at miafs.com.
And remember, because of the corona, if you haven't filed taxes yet, there's still time.
Oh, yeah, I haven't. As soon as I got extended, I was like, I threw that shit right back in the drawer. I said, get you in July.
My goal is to get it done in May. That's what my plan. I'm getting it done in May.
Not happening. They're going to release the quarantine. You're going to be like, screw this. I'm going out. All right. So this next video is interesting. We'll watch it. And then personally, I found two things wrong with this video, and we'll see what the people on Facebook, and there's literally no one on YouTube. Even John came to Facebook. So
I was trying to watch it, but my computer was just not having it today. So I don't know what's going on. So I shut it down.
Real quick, Tom brought up Uber Medic. We didn't get a chance to put it in the show tonight, but yeah, that's something we'll probably touch on in 2 weeks. But another option, Uber Medic, and I don't know anything about it, Tom. So you can chime in and we'll try to get to you. But so let's watch this video, and then we will. Where the hell is it? Oh, and then we'll kind of come back. We'll kill it there. Nope. Ooh, that was not the right words for that. So for the people that are listening on just the audio podcast, it was an Uber driver that rolled up on a shooting. And if you really listen closely, it was probably like 20 shots that went off. Yeah. And I'm interested what people think about, and I don't see any comments that have generated yet, but what that driver did. If you could kind of hear the driver, he gets out and he clearly has a pistol on him, and you hear him rack around into the gun. And anyone that's a gun owner or carries or whatever knows that you should always carry around in the chamber. You should never have an empty gun. If you're going to carry a gun, have it ready. And then he gets out of the car like a dumbass. Like, I would have like turned tail. Like, I would have put that son of a bitch in reverse and got the hell out of there. He kind of assesses the situation, and then he drives up further into where the scene was. And the rest of the video doesn't really show anything, but man, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that was, I don't want a gun. I don't know anything really about guns, so I didn't catch the rack in it, but that was one of the things I noticed was him like getting out of the car. Like, what are you doing? Get out of there.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard the gunfire, I'd have been, all right, canceling this one.
Be damn my 85%, or no, not the acceptance rate. That would have been the cancel rate. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was interesting that, I mean, like, what are you trying to do? Be a superhero? Like, your number one job is to take care of self. Yes, sometimes it happens where you have to take care of somebody else, but man, I mean, he got out of that car. I'm like, and then that kid, if you watch the video, he's using that blue car as cover. If you notice that, he's kind of ducking down, and then he runs off. I would have been like burning rubber out of there.
You got to figure that was more than one person shooting too.
Yes.
That was a lot of shots.
Well, you see the one guy run over the hill.
Kept going.
Yeah, you see the guy run over the hill. He was probably involved. The guy that was behind the blue car was probably involved. So
the funniest thing about the whole video is the dude that just rolls through on his bike like nothing's going on. Not a care. And he's worse than the driver. He's just,
yeah.
It's a nice sunny day. Taking my time.
Or
the gang war behind me.
Well, or he was the shooter, and he's like, I'm just gonna roll out here like nothing happened. You know what I mean? Although the funny thing, Pete and I had watched this video a couple weeks ago, and I said those apartments don't even look like that ghetto. I mean,
no.
Those are like standard apartments around Grand Rapids. Not to say that stuff can't happen not in the ghetto, but yeah, that was scary. I just can't believe he just was like, yeah, I'm going to see what's up.
I'm going to get out of this car.
Right. Gosh. Oh, man.
That was pretty crazy.
So Jesper is going to talk about Instacart, and obviously this is the Gig Economy podcast, so we're going to talk a lot about Instacart and Shipt. Nothing for Shipt tonight, but right. Yeah, why don't you break down what's going on with Instacart?
Well, so this is an article from TechCrunch. And the specifics that I'm talking about here is that Instacart is having a problem with the fact that there's third-party apps that grabs up big piles of orders in front of.
They're called batches.
Yeah, batches. So that the shoppers can't get them, and it's creating some big problems for the shoppers because obviously these are shoppers who used to do 20 to 30 batches a week are now all of a sudden down to some of them be able to only do 4 to 6 batches a week because other big softwares are getting them. They're mentioning third-party apps such as Ninja Hours, Sous Shopper, which I guess I've never been an Instacart shopper. We've used the Instacart a couple of times because they support Aldi, which is pretty nice. But I've never heard of the other apps, and I don't even know if they're if we have them in our market because they seem to at least Ninja Hours seem to be specifically, at least according to the article, very widely used in Spanish areas and Latino communities. And so these apps comes up and they are in other languages. So. But it continues to be an issue with Instacart, and a lot of the shoppers reaching out to Instacart. The article talks about them talking to their tech support, and tech support is aware of it, obviously, and is trying the best they can to fix it. But it sounds like the third-party developers are faster than Instacart's developers, so it's a race against time. Once they get one shut down, almost immediately they're live under a different name, different something, and doing the same thing, just in a little bit different approach.
Yeah, well, Dustin's got a video later on we'll watch too, kind of about the same thing. But what's crazy is clearly these apps, what are they? What would you call them? Like sniping apps, like that they go in and take the batches. Clearly they were there before, but no one ever heard. I mean, I never thought it was an issue. Maybe they were taking batches all the time. I did a little bit of Instacart, but I mean, I didn't see things go crazy like where you would look at the screen and then they would all be gone.
I mean, I've seen that, before I stopped doing gig work. I've seen that with Instacart in our area, and I don't know if it was the same. I don't know if it was the bots or the apps or whatever, or if it was just, all the actual Instacart shoppers.
Right. There's as kind of a layperson, just a shopper, you won't know other than if, you can kind of, I would say that if the whole screen disappeared all at once, you'd be like, that's weird.
That happened a couple times.
Yeah. But I mean, I can't help but think that at least right now it's, I mean, I don't know if it's a problem or not, but I read some other articles how Shipt and Instacart are just going absolutely crazy right now with just so many orders.
Yeah, I know. I think Gabe sent me something earlier, but that they're hiring like 100,000 people. Yeah. Something crazy like that.
When we first we hadn't used shoppers for us until COVID. And the first time we tried it, my wife signed up for it one day, and she was like, okay, we're going to try it. Her and I had been talking about it. We needed a couple of things. And so she logged into Instacart and signed up, and it was a whole week before we could get it delivered.
Yeah.
So the first delivery day was a week after at that point. And yeah, that was pretty crazy.
I think it's still that way, basically.
Okay.
Some of my friends have asked me because they know I do or did Instacart, and it's, is it really a week to get? Yeah, it's really. But right now, Shipt is. I mean, it's almost 10 o'clock, so all the grocery stores are closed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Myers closes at 10, I think.
Yeah, 8 or 10.
Yeah, same thing with Walmart, but it's 243 batches in the metro area.
Yeah, I think last podcast you said it was like 350, so
yeah,
we're moving on up or down.
We're moving
a little bit. So I gotta tell you, we did it. We've done Instacart a couple of times, and we've done because of Aldi. But this time we needed some. It's my son's birthday on Saturday. We needed a couple of things from Meijer, and we ended up doing Meijer curbside service, which is actually done by Shipt, I guess. So the Shipt shop was handling all of it, but we were pretty impressed in the sense that we ended up getting all the sales prices from Meijer by doing it this way. And we only had to pay, well, obviously we tipped the lady as well, but we only had to pay $5 for the curbside pickup. And I pulled up, I had, my trunk was completely empty. So I just pushed the button, opened the trunk. She put everything in there, closed it. It was completely, what's it called?
No contact.
No contact delivery. Yeah, it was really nice. I was very impressed.
Did you have to wait, or was it already waiting for you?
She was there. My wife was texting with her back and forth, and she texted when she said, "I'm starting shopping now, and then I'll let you know when I'm about 10 minutes, from done. Where do you live?" And we live just 5 minutes away from Meijer. So the moment she says I'm about 10 minutes done, I jumped in the car, pulled up, and yeah, it was.
Shipt is very. They like to communicate.
Yeah.
They want to know when you start, when you pick your nose, if you're going down the what aisle you're going down.
Yeah.
Well, this particular shopper was very good at her job, and she's obviously she's done it a lot of times. But yeah, she was in very direct connection with my wife, and I was pretty impressed. So I was a little low on beers. There was a particular brand I wanted, and she found it. And first she couldn't find it, and then she ended up finding it anyway. So yeah, I was pretty impressed.
In regards to like Shipt and Instacart, I mean, Shipt is kind of on a pedestal. I mean, they're very particular about their shoppers. It's interesting. I know the in-store Shipt shoppers get paid a little bit less for the order because they're not driving. But man, I feel like you could turn over like 4 or 5 of those in an hour.
She told me she gets $5 plus 7.5%.
Yeah, I can't remember what an actual
and then
shopper.
The tip.
Yeah, and right now I'm sure people are tipping really well, so she could probably clear, $40 an hour easy if she's good.
I think so. And then the other thing is Shipt can legally buy alcohol, right? Now, can Instacart do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Because
now with Instacart, I don't know. With Shipt, I think with Shipt too, but you have to take an alcohol course with Instacart.
Okay. She did have to scan my my driver's license.
Yeah, that's on Instacart.
So she did that. Yep. So
do they frown upon cracking at least one and just turn it in a 5-pack instead of a 6? I mean, is that like your tip? Because I'm down. There's like always those commercials.
I don't know. I didn't get a 6-pack. I got a 24-pack. I don't deal with the small stuff.
Oh, what'd you get? A 24-pack of that IPA crap?
No, I bought IPA, but this time I bought my favorite brand. I forget what I call it, but yeah,
Bud Light Lime.
No, I don't buy Bud Light. No, the brewery up on
Perrin.
Perrin.
Nice, Pete.
Yeah.
Nice.
Huh?
No, Pete and I said Perrin at the same time. Perrin's got some good beers. So.
I do. I like that. Yeah.
All right. So this is up. Pete had shared this earlier in the week, so I'll let him read it so he can be awkward saying the words. It's the
thanks, buddy.
It's the yeah. Go ahead.
So this is it's on a door at a sign. Pack-a-sack. I've never heard of them. They must be.
It's probably like a Save-A-Lot.
Yeah. I'm guessing. But there's 2 pieces of paper, and it says, "I make $7.75 an hour. I don't receive hazard pay. I'm not provided with proper PPE to keep myself and customers safe. Our hours have been cut. I can't do this and put myself and others at risk. Pack-a-sack does not value their employees. Corporate can suck a dick. Sorry, I quit. Essential, my ass."
Oh, I feel like that's just like a rant that you would do to your boss, but you're like, just tell people about that. I wonder if he locked the door and that's why he put it on the door, like, taped it up because he's like locked it and like left so no one would go in there. But
right.
I really do feel bad for some of these essential workers. Like, let's say, for instance, a cashier at a gas station, right? And, they can't quit because if they quit, they won't get unemployment. But right now in Michigan, unemployment without taxes is $967 a week. And this poor employee at the gas station, which I'm so thankful that they're there because now that I'm back to work, I like to go get my Monsters and those kind of things. And I'm so thankful that they're open, but I feel bad for them. They're making like minimum wage or maybe 50 cents more while someone else is making almost $1,000 a week playing Xbox. And I just feel bad.
You never got an Xbox though, did you?
I'm still waiting for frickin' Uncle Sam to send me my stimulus check. I'm already back to work. I can't even use the frickin' Xbox.
Jamie Lynn sent a link in the chat that kind of relates to this, and it's Futures for Frontliners program that Whitmer announced, and it's going to be a program for essential workers who've had to work through all this so that they can get college education.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I really think, honestly, this is just my opinion. I think they should get the $600 a week too from the feds. I know some of the federal people have been talking about doing a program like that. I mean, they're making, they're doing their best. And how is it that being on unemployment, you're making so much more money than them actually working? I mean, it's totally unfair to them. I mean, it's just like, man, God, just sucks for them. I get not getting the Michigan unemployment, and that's $367. Whoop-de-doo. If you make, enough money.
But that's full time, right?
Yeah, it goes on your last 18 months of earnings. So
Right.
if you've worked like odd jobs, you probably won't get the max, but I feel like they need to get that $600.
That was one of the things that kept the stimulus bill in the first place from going through as soon as they wanted it to, because people were asking the question, why is the stimulus bill going to be so much more money than a lot of people make already?
Yeah, what's motivating people to go get their job back? I mean, again, without taxes, almost $1,000 a week. I mean, $4,000 a month to sit home. I mean, you're not really, and they've extended it to like July or August too. So I don't know. It's kind of this weird. All right. It says I had shared the stream. I wonder, it's like a delayed reaction.
That couldn't come any more perfect.
I know. Oh my gosh. I shared it like 38 times. I'm wondering if it's going to pop up 38 times.
Oh, Jamie Lynn says the $600 a week is part of Whitmer's announcement with conditions to get it.
Well, I thought
see that,
but I thought the 600 was from the feds. I don't think she has any control over that.
I think what Jamie Lynn is saying.
Maybe this is for the people not on unemployment.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
That makes sense. Well, we'll have to dig into it a little bit and talk about it or post it as social media or whatever. But
maybe we should get Jamie Lynn on the show talking about this. She seems to know a lot about this.
Yeah, let's put her on.
It says right here, both benefits will be funded through federal dollars. Through July, the program can act as a supplemental pay for critical infrastructure workers by allowing them to collect the extra $600 per week.
But damn, that's awesome for them. But what qualifies? Just that you're an essential worker? You just have to apply for it? Because I hope they get it. Because they need to. I mean, they're literally putting their life at risk selling somebody my
selling
monsters.
You your monster.
I know. How freaking bougie. Jeez, I'm lost where we are.
I can't believe you supported that business by doing that,
What do you mean?
Well, yeah. You shouldn't be helping them.
Well, I mean, I'm keeping them in business.
I'm just joking. Man.
I know.
Keep going.
Speaking of suck a corporate dick, this ship shopper, I don't know why, it just sounded...
That seemed like quite...
That's quite a segue
right there.
Little oversellers.
That's what a professional podcaster does. Speaking of sucking corporate dick. All right, so this guy and anyone that's a ship shopper, I don't think it's legit. I think this person had help. But he posted a picture. It says, I feel like my lifespan has been permanently shortened by a few years after this. 7 days, 78 hours, 16,915 total dollars of groceries delivered. So his earnings on 97 orders was $4,448.99. Order and promo was $1,700. Tips were $2,600, and then some tips from the week.
And
before.
He says 78 hours for 7 days.
Did you do the math on how many hours that is a day, Pete? I'm not doing that.
I think
18 hours a day.
Yeah.
18?
Yeah. Roughly, just a little bit shy.
So Jesper,
no, that's not right.
God dang
it's
it!
Just over 11 hours.
Freaking A, Jesper. Danish math. Son of a bitch.
I thought I did. I know. Okay, so never mind. 12 hours a day.
Pete, you're the mathematician now.
Don't thank me. Thank Microsoft Calculator.
So anyways, I just think it's complete crap. Jesper says he thinks someone could do it. Now, Pete and I talked about it before the show started. Like, even if you had someone helping you, it only works on one phone. Your account only works on one phone. So how would they be able to double shop unless they... Well, here
or does it only work on one phone?
Well, what they could have done is taken screenshots of the orders, send it to their partner. They shop it all first, and then they just quick scan it one after another when they're ready to check out. That way you could do it. But, I mean, I don't think someone could physically do that many orders in 1 week.
You got to be working. You got to be, even two people, you got to be working like in sync to get that many orders done every single day.
Well, unless what you do is you take turns taking an order, and then so you can hand the phone to a guy, and so it's constantly 10 hours, constantly.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. If you only can use one phone, somehow the second shopper needs to see the list. Otherwise, it doesn't do any good to not have a second shopper.
Right.
That's
14
nuts.
orders a day you have to do. And then, so if it's 14 orders.
But you can do up to 3 orders at the same time, right? So you can technically work on 3 orders at the same time. So it's my math again. It's 5 rounds, right? 5 shopping rounds, if you will.
5 shopping rounds? What do you mean?
Well, if you're working on 3 orders at the same time, so it's,
So if you got 97 orders, and you're doing 3 at a time, that's 32.3. Then you're doing 7 days. That's 4.6.
But remember, you got to deliver those on the hour. So you got delivery times in there. They're super strict about that. You'll get penalized and you can get deactivated. So, I mean, you can take a triple, but if it's all due in that next hour, you got to shop it and then get it delivered by that next hour. I just don't think it's possible. But
Jessica says, Jamie Lynn says, I think 2 people take orders at the same time, which is, I think, what we're kind of agreeing with. And then Jessica said, I am a ship shopper. There is something in our app that allows you to color code and place multiple orders in one list.
yeah,
I'm a ship shopper, but I've never done, I only did it for 2 weeks, if that.
I've done it for a year and a half.
And
And Jessica is right. You can do that, but I mean, how do you give that number? How do you show the other person? I mean, we're assuming there's another person. I mean, but the color coding does work well. But I never took big orders with that because I was afraid I was going to miss something. And you know what I mean? I would have separate bags, but man, it was so stressful. Ship shopping is a stressful job. You think rideshare is stressful with drunks? I'd rather deal with drunks because, man, I'm telling you.
There was one time I was at Maya and I saw a ship shopper. She had a shit together. I'm telling you. She had a little piece of like a wooden board that was a table she had up on the cart, and then on this board she had a little setup where her phone actually could set, and she had a USB keyboard in front of it, so she could actually use that to type with instead of the little texting back and forth.
Yeah.
She had it down.
Yeah. Some of those shoppers are rock stars. I mean, I think that number's a little insane, but I mean, I know some of those moms during the day, like when the kids are at school, they're out there killing it.
Getting it.
I actually started doing, and people looked at me crazy. I started doing talk to text because it was just took way too long to type it. And I'd be talking out loud.
Keyboard, man. USB keyboard.
Ain't got no time for that. Shit. But anyways, I'd like to reach out to Christopher Munn and maybe get him on the podcast or maybe a short interview. I'd like to chat it up with him a little bit. So we're gonna jump into. The guy that did that Instacart.
Christopher Munn, yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Just want to talk about the Patreon one more time. You get behind the scenes, the Deeper Dive podcast, as Jesper is affectionately named. It's patreon.com/GR Rideshare. That will probably change too. But right now you can check it out. It is in the link in the description on our Facebook and on YouTube. We'd really appreciate the support as we're growing and making this thing better and badder and awesome and all that stuff. So I'm interested to see how many GR Rideshare podcast stuff we have next podcast that I forgot to change. Like this slide right here has the old logo on it. Like, that's just kind of funny, but
that's a good. We'll get it.
We'll get it there. So yeah, if you could support us, patreon.com/GR Rideshare. We invest all of it. We don't take any money for ourselves. Not yet. Oh, and if you join now, by the end of the month in May, not March, May, we're giving away a Vantrue dash cam, brand spanking new. We did a review on it. We did open it up and use it and put it back in there. So I guess it's not brand spanking new. It's Jesper spanking new. Ooh.
What does that even mean?
That got weird.
Looks like Jesper took his time unboxing it because the box is in good condition.
Oh, yeah.
It's
not bulging or anything. Whenever I try to pack something in a box, it never fits.
Yeah, he did it in the studio. I watched him. He was very careful.
Okay, so we ought to talk about some secrets.
Yeah, hold on one sec. Jessica said, no other person. I've been able to shop 4 orders at one time, picked up some orders less than 10 pieces each. Yeah, see, what I was doing is doing the promos, and the promos, there's no penalty for time. So if it's on a promo, even if it's $1 promo, you're not required. I mean, I would shoot to get it there on time, but I wouldn't stress as much. So there's a fast fact for you.
Yeah, Miguel, when I saw this article, I sent it to Gabe right away because he was one of the people I could see getting close to this.
Well, that 4,000?
Yeah.
He'd do it too. He puts his mind to it. That's why we call him Gigster Gabe.
Yep.
He'll kill it. So, all right, Jesper.
So can I talk about it now? Is that okay? Or are you going to cut me off again? So.
Well, there was this one time.
Yeah, there you go. So Uber and Lyft driver secrets and scams. So this is the auto blog. And what we're going to talk about today in particularly is the problem with upfront pricing. So we all know that Uber and Lyft a while back now actually went to upfront pricing. Basically, they started calculating out how much the driver is going to charge, how much the rider was going to pay for the ride before they even accepted the ride. And what that did obviously is it changed the payout. And I hate even talking about it because I hate talking about it, but. There's so many people, so many drivers complaining about all of a sudden they didn't get enough and all that stuff. But whether or not they got what they always got a promise or whatever that is, we're not going to get into that. But it used to be that you would get 75 to 80% of the fare. And when they started doing upfront pricing, all of a sudden you got what you always got, which is just mileage and time, getting paid for mileage and time. Which was how you got paid before, but all of a sudden now, because of upfront pricing, Uber and Lyft took a lot more. So this article is talking about how can we as riders get more of the ride. And so the way upfront pricing works is that Uber will take the absolute longest the longest way of getting you from point A to point B, and then they will charge you for that. And so what riders quickly find out was we're going to do the same. So the riders, the good drivers, sorry, not riders, the good drivers can quickly figure out whether or not that the rider is local or not local, and quickly kind of sense in the situation. Well, we're gonna just take a longer route, and most time it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt the passenger. In most cases, they may get to point B a few minutes later, but they won't have to charge anything else because unless you change the destination, the upfront pricing still goes. So that's basically it's a little secret. And it can be a tip for drivers, new or old. If you're not doing it already, you can, if you know your city well and you know where to go, you can take the longer route, if you will. Obviously, don't overuse the situation because if if Uber does think that you are taking way too long, then they're gonna take money away from you again. So just be aware of that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't ever do that on purpose, but so from our airport, if we're going to the city, sometimes, and only people that are from GR will know this, but sometimes Waze will take me down Patterson to 28th to get on the highway. Right. Sometimes it'll take me down 36 to get on the highway. And if you go down 36, you actually get paid a little bit more. I don't choose to go either way. I just follow the GPS, and I'm not sure why it decides. I mean, you're going to the Amway. You get there either way.
I have never been taken down 36 by GPS. Never.
But you believe in the Uber scam, and you use Uber's GPS. I use Waze.
That's correct.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, I always use just the in-app destination.
I don't trust them.
There was one time where this has never happened to me before. It was I was taking somebody from out of town taking them to their hotel from they would at the intersection listen to a concert, and was taking them home, and it was just after midnight, and they took me to a hotel that it was no longer that called that. They took me to the hotel out by the new castle in Granville. But it was some name that had been called many, many years ago, and it's no longer called that. And so that was not the hotel they had. They had obviously had a room at. So I drove that way, which means I drove basically one of the highways around the town, around the city. I took the outside highway, 196, and dropped them off there. I was gonna drop them off there, and they go, "No, this is not our hotel." And we finally found it, and it was actually the hotel close to 131. And so I ended up taking them all the way over there. So what I ended up doing was I shut off the app. I don't know, I shouldn't shut off the app. I know that, but I was thinking they already paid enough. Just take them home. Yeah, I know it's a bad idea. Don't shut off the app, but I did. Anyways, long story short, next day I got paid the difference from Uber. They adjusted the fare to my advantage.
So the app was off, but they still can track you when the app is off.
They adjusted they added $25 to my fare because it was on a surge. Yeah.
So of course you did the right thing and refunded them their money, right?
I couldn't because it was over.
Yeah, but you can still always go and refund your rider.
Well, I didn't. So.
Oh, okay.
And they tipped me. They tipped me a cash tip.
Freaking scam artist, Jesper. Jeez.
I used to use when I was brand new to Uber driving. I used the Uber navigation until it took me into a lake over by East Beltline in Bradford.
Did you drive into the lake?
Almost, because it was like pitch black outside.
Oh shit!
Luckily, there was like a guardrail across the road. But if the guardrail wasn't there, I would have pulled into a lake.
You've been dead.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So tip time. Don't use Uber's navigation.
You can't use that as your tip, bitch. All right? No way. Go ahead, Jesper. What were you saying?
No, that's it.
Okay.
That's it. I'm done with mine.
So we're going to watch a video right now, and Pete, you can intro it.
Yeah, so this goes right along with what Jesper was talking about. And so some people are thinking that there's some sort of scam going on with Instacart. It's actually not a scam. It's a legitimate app, and they're not breaking any rules.
They're not?
Nope.
I didn't watch the whole video. Shit. All right, Here we go.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're going to talk about Instacart. Where did all the batches go? Now, you guys remember the saying, you're either first or last. Well, that's basically what's going on right now because there's a third-party app out there letting its users get first pick of the litter, or all the litter pretty much, because a lot of people have been complaining, saying that the app's been hacked or something. They would see the batches come in, and then before they could even read them, bam, boom, magic trick. Now you see me, now you don't. They're gone. And people are like, whoa, this isn't right. Hold up. Especially shoppers that have been doing this for multiple years. And sad to say, it's not nothing new. Before they started doing the batches on demand, after, this pandemic happened, well, beforehand, they used to do it like pretty much by shifts. So there was an app out there that users would pay into. It was like $200, I think. And it would pretty much like pre-select their shifts for them when they came up. It made them available. And if you guys remember, this is no different than when there was an app out there called Maestro that rideshare drivers were using. That was, if they put specifications in there, they would either accept or decline rides that they didn't want. Okay? Always remember, guys, there's somebody out there trying to gyp the system to make it benefit for themselves because it's a dog-eat-dog world. That's the reality of things. And the crazy thing is, neither of these apps were against the terms of service. Okay. I think Lyft but still allowed Maestro for a little while there after Uber kicked them off because they found out because there was some way, to make the system work. Now, Instacart had the same thing beforehand, and now that they've switched it up, and now it's no longer hours and it's on demand, well, there's another app out there, guys. I don't know the name of the app. There's an article written about it. I'll put it in the description below. I don't feel like reading it all. But basically, it's sitting there saying they haven't been hacked. This is something that's legitimately, I guess, allowed to happen as long as its users are not selling the batches, which seems to be the issue right now because let's face it, who wants to take those $7 batches? I sure as hell, I know I'm not going to be sitting out there waiting 30, 40, 45 minutes for a $7 trip. No. That's a negative ghostwriter. But there are people out there that are broke enough that they will do what they got to do to feed their family because that's what happens. Desperate times calls for desperate measures. But remember, guys, this app is not against the terms of service. People are able to use it as long as they're not selling it, which to me is still screwed up. But, let's face it, guys. Instacart, DoorDash, Grubhub, none of these companies are any different than Uber and Lyft. They're always going to look out for themselves while its people, get crapped on. That's just how it is. And that's why I tell you guys, have multiple revenue streams so that way you can be successful at being an independent contractor. Because if other things can influence your money influx, then you're not in as much control as you think you are. But all right, guys, as always, check the description below for extra information and tips. I will link this article down there so you can read it for yourselves. It is kind of mind-boggling, and you're like, whoa, damn, it sucks, but that's life. I know you guys remember that song, That's Life. But all right, guys, as always, be safe. Try to get your money the best way you know how. Don't take crap from anybody. Adapt, or you will fail. And until next time, guys, shop on or don't.
I love Dustin. Check Dustin out. He's got a great channel. Dustin is driving. I know he's not doing a lot of driving right now, just like everybody. But yeah,
he's doing some Modern Warfare earlier when I looked.
Yeah, he's been gaming too, so that's cool. But yeah, that's interesting that app is not violating the terms of service. That's so frustrating for people.
I wonder how it works though. If they're not selling the batches, what's the point of the app?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the verbiage that they're using.
They're not selling the
badges. A membership fee.
Exactly. Yeah. You're not selling the badges. You're selling access to them.
Right. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that is crazy. And what he did touch on at the end of the movie, the end of the video is like what we talk about: diversify. I mean, you gotta. Yep. No one expected this pandemic, and if you were only a rideshare driver, and Pete experienced that himself, not to get throw him under the bus.
I thought I was diversified enough. I was in Uber, Lyft. I was signed up for DoorDash, but I never took any.
Yeah,
so I got unsigned up.
Yeah,
and I had Uber Eats, but I learned very quickly that was not enough.
Did you do Joyride?
Fucking Joyride, man. I swear I got an email from them, Joyride, during the COVID-19. I'm like, what the hell? They still got my email address? Like, I didn't even know you guys were still alive. We will not be talking. Go ahead.
Crunk rap breaks are not allowed during the podcast.
We will not be talking about Joy Run at any time soon on the Patreon podcast or this one.
I never heard of them.
Yeah. It's probably good that you didn't. So
Jason and I got some good pizza from them one night.
Yeah, we did. Jamie Lynn was there too.
Yep.
Next up, Uber's getting the criticism for stopping food deliveries into low-income neighborhoods. So, kind of. Uber has informed residents of San Francisco's Treasure Island neighborhood it will no longer make Uber Eats deliveries to the area because of new city regulations capping delivery commissions. Uber says the regulations limit the company's ability to cover operational costs. But San Francisco Supervisor Matt Haney has criticized Uber for its approach, saying it's cutting off service to low-income neighborhood in retaliation. I mean, I can see Uber doing this. But here's the weird part. Why can you're kind of involving government and business a little bit when they say, no, you can't charge. I mean, why are they saying you can't charge what you want to charge? It's your business. And this started before the pandemic. They were in there like maybe 2 weeks before. So I don't know. I don't think I think it's crap. It's my opinion that the government, the city can say, no, you have to, we're going to cap this. And then Uber's like, screw this, I'm out. But then they're flipping it saying, well, it's a poor neighborhood. So you're not servicing the poor neighborhood. I don't know what you guys think about that, but clearly nothing. Jesus, guys.
I'm sorry. Did you want to comment?
I did.
It's kind of a, you can see both sides.
Yeah, I mean, I can see both sides, but I mean, it's just like, come on. Like, Uber can charge whatever they want. They're not taking advantage of the pandemic. I mean, I understand when, like, what was it? There was like a shooting in Seattle, and then the Uber surge rates like skyrocketed, but they didn't. And I understand the city getting upset about that, but then it figured out the algorithm hadn't caught up yet, and they didn't know it was even going on. I don't know. It just seems kind of weird that the city gets involved with private business on that. That's all my opinion. I mean, everyone's got opinion on the government right now lately, but
right. That is true.
Jesper was going to say something, but then he was like, I think we'll just end it.
No,
what to say about opinions.
Yeah, everyone's got them, and assholes. Jesper's up. Talk about drivers getting PPE. When I posted this, there's not a lot of people getting it.
Thank you. So that's it. Okay. Next. No, so basically, as Jason mentioned, both Uber and Lyft promised PPE. This article is a week old, and I don't think it has changed much since then. According to the article, maybe about 50,000 to 100,000 pieces of PPE has been sent out by Uber. And obviously that's not nearly gonna cover it. They talk about, through the article, they talk about 1 point, Uber is sending out 250,000 pieces of PPE. Another point, it's like close to 1 million. I'm not quite sure what the numbers are, but the fact is, there's lots of PPE is necessary to keep the drivers and the riders safe, right? Because it's not just protecting yourself, it's also protecting other people's in your vehicle. And both Lyft and Uber is falling short. And so what they are saying is they simply can't get a hold of it. At one point, Uber is talking in the article that they are trying to deal directly with some Chinese companies to get 1 million pieces of PPE created. And sent back to them, but whether or not they have done that, we don't know. So basically, go ahead. No, I was just gonna go ahead.
I say the funny thing is Shipt sent me the same email, and my PPE is supposed to come Saturday.
Okay, and
then they sent another email for a reusable face mask that they're sending out.
I saw a scary video that was circling around on YouTube, and you see one of these. It's a sweatshop in Shanghai, okay, and they're creating one-time use PPE, and it's ridiculous. Okay, it's 3 guys. The room is just filthy, okay, absolutely filthy, and there's 3 guys sitting on sewing machines. And then they have these young kids on the floor, which is, by the way, like clay floor, sitting there and folding the masks, the paper masks, right? And then handing them over by hand, folding them by hand, and then handing it up to another seamstress or one of the guys on the sewing machine, sewing the other side of the mask. And it's filthy. There's no way that these masks are even near clean.
Well, that's why the government won't allow anything but the N95 for
right.
Was it, inside the hospitals.
Well, I mean, it's not surprising. I mean, half the shit you get from China anyways is junk. You know what I mean? So I don't know why you would think anything otherwise.
And of course they're capitalizing on the situation. I get it. But it's like, and this video was recorded just a week ago.
Damn.
And
So Keith chimed in and he stole my thunder because Jesper wouldn't shut his mouth. I was going to say DoorDash had been the first company that really stepped up. I remember Gabe talking about that. They sent out their stuff really quick. But here's a thought. We're all independent contractors. This is just a flip side. Aren't we responsible for our own expenses?
And by the way, the PPE you buy you can expense it.
Right. And again, I'm not saying they shouldn't do anything. I just always want to flip it and say, well, we're independent contractors. Are we employees or independent contractors? I would expect my boss to provide the PPE, but
so when they talk about that though in the article earlier about in California, because of that is it N85? What was the name of that law? They're technically employees, right? So they're supposed to be Uber, all the rideshare drivers in California. Because of the law,
I see what you're saying.
They are employees, so they're supposed to provide that to them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought about that.
Probably where all the PPE Uber's gotten has gone to, because how many drivers do you think we have in Grand Rapids?
5K.
The last number I heard was between 4,000 and 5,000 active drivers.
Doesn't mean. Can you imagine every one of those drivers active at one time in the city? We'd never get a ride.
There were some Saturdays, though, when I drove. I feel like that's all I saw was rideshare cars.
I know. You rarely see regular cars anymore, especially everyone's got the signage. So,
yeah.
All right. Pete.
I so miss it. I want to drive.
I know. I can't wait.
I want back on the road.
So, Pete, you want to go ahead with this? You shared this photo.
So a couple people messaged me in the group chat on Telegram, which is linked in the Facebook post.
Thank you.
About, Progressive in particular, because I think most of the major insurance companies have come out saying they're going to reduce your bill because of coronavirus because you're driving less or whatever. But one of them, who also has Progressive, asked me if I'd got my discount, and I said, I don't even know. I haven't even looked. I know they talked about it, so I went and looked, and I hadn't gotten it, but I noticed that their little post said active personal auto customers will receive a 20% discount. And so I got to thinking, I said, well, shit, maybe because, I have the rideshare waiver, I don't qualify as a personal car driver anymore. So I ended up tweeting them, and they actually answered right back, and they said, so no worries, you'll still get a credit. We just haven't calculated it yet. We'll take care of that on the last day of the months of April and May, and you'll see it showed up in your following months. So if you're wondering where your discount is, at least for Progressive, that's your answer.
So what's going to happen? Well, so the VO, so I have Progressive too, but I pay for 6 months up front, right? Because then you get the big, huge $350 discount. What's going to happen to me? Is that a credit that's going to be added to my account for next time?
Nope, you're screwed.
Yep. So it says,
Jason, you are. Anyways.
A what?
Yeah, I know.
Shoot, I got to pull it up on my phone.
Gosh dang it, Pete. This is the last time. I'm done. No, but that's cool.
Basically, it said if you've already paid in full, you'll get a refund.
Like a refund check.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So. I haven't looked at mine either, but it's actually a good question, Pete. It's not really a commercial policy. It's just kind of a rider, but it's good to clarify. So hopefully they will, if they don't do it, you'd be like, listen here, sucker. Listen here. Don't you love it when the social media team gets back to you right away? Like, that is just the best. I hate Uber's DM us. At least
somebody called them out once. One of the things that I had complained about once, they were like, well, DM us. I think it was about the volume, getting real quiet.
Oh, yeah.
And then somebody called them out and said, why do you always tell us to DM? We all are having the same problem. Just answer it on Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah. It's ridiculous. I like when a company actually answers it. I mean, obviously they're not going to get super personal. Miguel asks, Jesper, do you even check your email? Progressive should have sent you an email, Miguel says. So, no, he doesn't.
I check my email, but I have not gotten an email from him.
Jesper gets 75,000 emails a minute. It got lost in there.
Here's the question for Jamie Lynn. She said State Farm is going to take 25%. Well, maybe I shouldn't bust out Jamie Lynn. Never mind.
You ripcorded?
State Farm doesn't have rideshare.
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I looked at them because my house insurance is through State Farm, and I couldn't get a rideshare coverage through them.
I'm pretty sure they do. They're one of the biggest companies in the country.
Right.
I know Farmers was the first to get it, but then Progressive, and then they all kind of, I could be wrong, but I can't believe, because Jamie Lynn got in that accident with State Farm.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure.
She's got to have it.
But she had something else though too.
Yeah, I think she had some
like
extra insurance that helped pay her bills when she got injured. I don't know. Whatever. Again, we need to get her back on.
Affleck, who knows?
I mean, the second time we said shit, we should just get her back on the podcast.
I know, right?
I know.
I gotta get a new quote for my insurance because I get an employee discount now.
Oh, for
so wait, you're not gonna get Progressive?
Well, we'll see.
Don't get Farmers. They suck ass. Just kidding. They were fine. I had them. As soon as the rider became available, they were the first company I went with them. They were fine. The service was great. The commercials are awesome. Farmers is a great company. It's just,
you can stop now.
I was paying $80 more a month with them than I was with Progressive. So I'm like, bye, Felicia. All right, Pete. Pete, what's the tip?
Yeah, what's the tip, Pete?
I didn't come up with one.
Oh, you had... You did that. Where are we at for time? We're like at an hour and 30 minutes.
40 minutes. Yeah.
What the hell? All right. Pete didn't come up with a tip. He said he was gonna.
Don't have a dirty car.
Don't have a dirty. Yeah. That's what it should have been after looking at that picture of social media shenanigans.
Yeah, that's pretty gross. Oh, my wife just dropped something. Hopefully it wasn't the dog. It was really loud. All right, we'll jump into where did I miss something? No, I didn't. We'll jump into social media shenanigans. This is the picture he was talking about. I'm sure it's not an actual rideshare car, but you never know.
You never know.
It says some of y'all are wearing masks and have a car like this, and for the listeners that aren't watching, it's just I don't know. I think I see some curly fries, maybe a hand somewhere. I mean, I don't know. It's just
dismembered bodies over there.
Yeah, it's just a disgusting.
Dismembered bodies.
I mean, I cannot even really. I legit do see some curly fries, but I can't identify really anything else. A couple pieces of cardboard, some sort of stain in the middle, a plastic.
Just
bag.
imagine your trash can, and like even though you put a bag in it, that shit that like builds up in the bottom of the can.
Oh!
Just imagine that. That's what this car looks like.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good description.
It's pretty grungy.
Oh, Judas Priest. Okay. So Jespers is a video. We've never really done a video for Facebook shenanigans, but it's a little bit of a long one. I mean, like 3 minutes, but you're going to watch it, and then at the end, it's all going to make sense. So do you want me to describe it any more than that, Jesper, or not?
No, it's fine.
All right.
Just go ahead and press play.
All right. Ooh, what else we got in here?
Oh my goodness, yeah. See how meticulously he opens those boxes.
Yep.
And then he levels out the content of the food really nice and neat afterwards, and then the lid back on.
Licks the spoon clean. All the honking.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's gonna.
I'm convinced the video is not in America.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
At least I hope.
He's got a haircut like a balding 50-year-old.
And now it comes.
Why the sound cut out, but basically for people that are listening, it's a DoorDash driver. I would say what, India probably, it seemed like.
I don't know exactly where, but yeah.
He's eating this food and you're like, oh, he's probably just taking a break or whatever. But then he's really meticulously scraping the food off the top, being very particular about that. And he eats
making it smooth and flat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Puts the lid back on, really makes sure the lid's nice. And then I'm like, well, he's probably just eating his lunch. And then he puts it back in the bag and then somehow has this like tape and tapes the bag around like it's like the restaurant
the official restaurant tape.
Yeah. So, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. We've seen videos in the States from that, like the guy that took the sip of Coke, was it last podcast? So, God, every time I see those, though, I'm just like, do I really want to order food? You're hoping that it's low. It's probably like 0.01% that actually happens, but, oh, man.
I think it's more than you think.
You think? Oh, don't tell me that.
I think it's more than you think.
I just, like... I have enough work ethic. It's not work ethic. It's just like, I don't know what's the word. Like I would just never do that. It's disgusting. I mean, I've been hungry. I will tell you
that when I ordered Uber Eats the other day, I've ordered, pizza delivery all my life. I love pizza, whatever. I've never once thought about whether or not the driver, dug into my pizza or, whatever.
Me either.
And I got my Uber Eats order. And from doing this, they'll help it out on this podcast.
You're welcome.
Wondered if, yeah, thanks.
You're going to look at that pizza just a little bit different. And you'd be like,
I did. I opened the box and I was like, okay, the pizza looks good. I checked the ranches. I'm like, all right, this looks like ranch. I think we're good.
Although you look at it like this, like, if it happened, I lived this long. I've never gotten sick or found out. Just F it. Let's eat this stuff. All right, last one is Pete's. This was kind of funny.
Last one. You know what? I've done this before, but I didn't catch myself. And I tried to find the text because I'm sure I sent it to the group and I couldn't find it. But so this is a text message that a ship shopper almost sent her shop. And it says, the only small garlic powder they have is Simply Organic brand. Is that okay? Customer replies, yes, all good. She types in, okay, awesome. And then she's typing out another text and it says, they are all out of ham steaks. They do have a small sliced ham. I don't know if you would like that as a substitute or not. They are out of Boar's Head pepperoni as well. They do have a whore.
You couldn't even get it out.
They do have a whore mouth if you like that instead.
Well, it's like the frick. It's voice to text. That's what she's doing. I don't think.
Right.
She was trying to say Hormel.
Yeah, you're right.
I've typed in like, I'll be there in a sec, but it auto corrects it to sex. I'll be there in a sex.
Yeah,
happened to me before.
I don't understand autocorrect because sometimes it does some of the weirdest stuff, and you're like, is this somewhere in my keyboard somewhere that I've typed this word and it's come out that way? But crap, man.
Anyways.
All right, guys. Well, we are going to wrap it up. Thank you, everyone that was new tonight, and hope you enjoyed the show. I know we're oh, yeah, camera. Sorry. Just say it next time. God darn it.
Well, I like to show it.
Yeah, you're right. And just a reminder, you can win a Van True camera, dash cam, brand new, except, well, Jesper new. Jesper spanking new. And if you join Patreon and between now and the end of the month of May, we're going to do a drawing for that. So, but yeah, we appreciate it. And thank you for bearing with us through all this technical stuff. We were a little late. Oh, yeah. Ann Munez has liked the stream. Thanks, Ann. We were a little late because our streaming service took a dump and was not working, which has never happened since we started it. So that's why we were late. So look for us to kind of be changing stuff up a little bit as far as logos and all that stuff and the new website. And yeah, I don't have any outro music, so it's kind of weird. It's like, bye. I forgot to load outro music.
Bye.
Have a good night, guys.
Yeah, see you guys.